Affordable housing is a huge issue in Texas. This Just the Facts video will cover how big the problem is, what is causing it, and what we need to do to fix it. First, let's understand the problem and how big it is in Texas. Over 1/3 of Texas households spend at least 30% of their income on housing. Due to this expense, they experience difficulty affording the other basics of life, including food, healthcare, transportation, and more. And many of these households are spending even more, over 50% of their income on housing. They are referred to as severely cost-burdened. Over 700,000 households in Texas are severely cost-burdened. On average, these households are paying 64% of their income on rent. Let's look at an example to see how serious this problem is. Two adults working full-time minimum wage jobs make less than $2,600 a month together. From that $2,600 monthly income, subtract $1,670 for housing. That's 64%. And $976 for food, leaving next to nothing for everything else. And this issue doesn't only affect low-income households. It also affects first-time home buyers who have difficulty getting a start on home ownership. The typical first-time home buyer in the United States is now 40 years old, a record high. This affordability struggle prices many young families out of the market. Just 5 years ago, the average first-time home buyer in the United States was 33 years old. This lack of affordable housing increases homelessness, and it also constrains the labor supply in urban areas because people can't afford to live there. For all these reasons, Texans are acutely aware of the problem. A 2024 survey by the University of Houston and Texas Southern University found that 90% of respondents consider housing affordability to be a problem in their part of Texas. What is causing this huge gap in affordable housing? First is just the basic lack of supply of affordable housing. The National Low-Income Housing Coalition reports that Texas has only 222,000 affordable housing units for the 887,000 extremely low-income households, or only about one affordable unit for every 4 extremely low-income families. Second is inflation. Housing costs are rising faster than wages. Since 2000, median rents in the U.S. have increased 30%, while median rent or household income have only increased 3%. This has created an increasingly large gap between what housing costs and what many families can afford. The cost to buy a house has also been affected by rapid inflation. Median home prices in Texas rose by 40% between 2019 and 2023. Third is harsh immigration policies. The National Association of Home Builders reports that 38% of workers in the construction industry in Texas are immigrants. Even before the current Trump administration, the construction industry struggled with hiring enough workers. And the Republican immigration crackdown has made this even worse. Aggressive enforcement has compelled some workers to stay away from job sites, and construction industry observers say ICE actions are hurting construction employment. Fourth, other costs such as insurance and utilities have also ticked up. Average homeowners' insurance rates in Texas, for example, rose by 6.9% in 2021 and 11.8% in 2022. So what can we do to address the lack of affordable housing in Texas? The Texas legislature took some positive steps in 2025. They reduced some restrictions and red tape and made more types of housing available, such as removing barriers to office to residential conversions. But that isn't enough. Texas needs to do more to increase the availability and affordability of housing. Specific policies could include continue to streamline restrictions and zoning. Building on the 2025 laws, Texas should monitor and refine zoning reforms and building codes to avoid unnecessary restrictions on new housing. Protect renters' rights. Texas lacks strong renter protections such as rent control or eviction safeguards, increasing housing insecurity amidst rising costs. Expanding renter rights and providing emergency rental assistance would help reduce homelessness and housing instability. Expand rules allowing alternative dwelling units or second houses on existing home lots, increasing housing stock, and may create valuable investment opportunities for homeowners. 84% of Texans support this. Fix immigration. The Republicans' immigration practices are not serving Americans' best interests. We need an immigration policy that protects our borders and respects our values while also supporting our economy. Increase government support for affordable housing. 54% of Texans favor government policies intended to increase the amount of affordable housing for lower and middle income Texans, while only 26% oppose these policies. Government programs can increase availability by providing access to funding for housing development, and can also increase affordability by helping low-income families afford acceptable housing. Texas has a huge housing affordability issue. The state legislature took positive steps in 2025. We need to ensure we elect leaders who will continue that progress and finish the job. You can find sources for this video at texasblueaction.com/justthefacts. Join Texas Blue Action and make sure your friends and family are ready to vote in every election.